for word to be written first to us, and then for a just decision to be passed from this place. If then any such suspicion rested upon the bishop there, notice thereof ought to have been sent to the church of this place. So Rome should have been notified first. You have no authority to take matters into your own hands. And proceeding on their own authority as they pleased. Now they desire to obtain our concurrence in their decisions. They want Pope Julius to ratify what Tyre has said. Though we never condemned him, not so have the constitutions of Paul, not so have the traditions of the fathers directed. This is another form of procedure, a novel practice. So novel things are bad. I beseech you, readily bear with me. What I write is for the common good. For what we have received from the blessed Apostle Peter, that I signify to you. So very early self-understanding of the Pope, of his role relative to the rest of the church. And Athanasius coming to Rome, St. Paul coming to Rome, other bishops who have been displaced coming to Rome, seeking Rome's redress. Obviously, there must have been something there that would have said he has some authority, where why didn't they go to a different see? Right? So from this point forward, there is a blizzard of different councils, one siding one way and then another. And they are all trying to win the argument over that understanding of the Trinity. Nicaea stated it. Nicaea confirmed it. It was voted on, was promulgated into law, but it was not accepted by the Arian supporters who wanted to go another round, right? Our understanding of ecumenical councils, this is 17th century's removed. For the locals, and a number of these are called by the emperor, right? Very important bishops take place in all of it. How are they distinguishing between one or the other? We have the advantage, we have the comfort of 17th centuries. But for them, what is the authority of one council versus another? And this is something that comes to light through the passage of time. But Council of Antioch, this is back in Arian country, they are trying to find a way around that word homoousios. And there could be a legitimate reason why, because they're still suspicious of that Marcellus in Ankara and that Sabellianism. And so they're trying to find another word. And they come up with a creed that becomes very close to Nicaea, but they won't use that word homoousios. And they want to use a word that's kind of, he is of a like substance. He is very like the Father. And they get rid of those things, that he was created in time and that he's a creature. They get rid of all that, but they will not say he's the same substance. So the controversy narrows down to this one word. It is theological. So at that Council of Antioch, it looks theologically like they're coming together, but the attitudes are hardened and become even more embittered towards one another. In the West, Pope Julius he and Athanasius urge Constans, who's that pro-Nicene emperor in the West, to hold a council to reaffirm Nicaea. And so they, in the very western tip of what Constans controlled, which is now part of Bulgaria, Sofia, they hold this council, eastern tip, the Council of Sardica. And they invite bishops from the east to come. But when they find out that Athanasius is present, they will have nothing to do with it. They leave. As soon as they get back into Constantius' territory, they anathematize Athanasius and Paul of Constantinople, and now Pope Julius, and anyone who has anything to do with this council, they're all anathematized. And so there is this series of dueling councils that starts to take place. In the midst of it all, however, something happens. The Arian bishop Gregory, the first of two Arian Gregories in Alexandria, dies. And Constance convinces his brother, Constance the Nicene convinces his brother over in the eastern part of the empire, let Athanasius go back, let's have some peace. So one Gregory dies, Athanasius goes back, and there's about this 10 years of what the Egyptian church calls its golden period, that golden decade. The people are rejoiced that Athanasius is back. It's one of the happiest days of their life. Their frivolity, religious vocations, the number going to the monasteries grows enormously. It's estimated, I heard one estimate that during this century, in Egypt, up to 10% of the populace entered monastic life, tried to live in the desert. A far cry from what we see today, but that just kind of the spirit of the times. A social, that social charity expanded, so taking care of the poor in the midst, very present there. In 350, now these two names you see there, Erasius and Valens, these are kind of the successors of Eusebius of Nicomedia. These are the torchbearers for the Arian cause and the anti-Nicene cause, and no matter where the emperor finds himself, they somehow manage to get there faster than anyone else, and influencing him at every turn. Even they, however, by 350, months before Constance dies, they reconcile with the Pope Julius. They make their confession, they apologize for mistreating Athanasius, and they formally condemn Arianism. This is a short-lived and Cheshire cat type of apology. Once Constance dies and once Pope Julius dies, they quickly revert to their old self. And so once Constance, the Western Emperor Constance dies, Constantius, the Arian leading one, takes over everything. And he marries a woman from Milan who is also pro-Arian. So he kind of moves the capital up to northern Italy type of area. And a number of other councils start to take place, so a flurry of these. And these all become more and more pro-Arian. So the first one, the Council of Sirmium, mispronounce it, they also, and each one of these has its own little creed. And the creeds all kind of are close to that one from Antioch in 341. They dance around, they won't use the word homoousios, or they will officially say they won't because it's non-biblical. It is too controversial. It has been associated with heresy in the past. They don't want to use it. So they try to come up, either they'll skirt the issue or they will try to use another word that he is of a like substance. The Second Council of Arles in part of France was called at the new Pope Liberius' request. Here, the Erasius and Valens are once again condemning Athanasius. And Athanasius seems to be the center of attention at each of these councils, whether they're going to condemn him or restore him. And perhaps because he's so closely tied with the defense of the Council of Nicaea to begin with, that the attention swirls around that. In 355, another council is called Pope Liberius, Council of Arles condemns Athanasius. You have these two, Erasius and Valens, very articulate. They convince all these Western bishops who have never heard these debates before of the virtue of the semi-Arian or Arian take. And so you start having Western councils with Arian type of decisions, that Christ is not of the same the Word, eternal Word, is not of the same substance as the Father. And so a second-class God, right? God the Father, and then a second class, not quite